Can you believe it? It's been 20 years since the hapless Shaun, played by Simon Pegg, and his best friend Ed, played by Nick Frost, fought their way through hordes of the undead, armed with cricket bats and the odd record collection.
Purple Rain. No. Sign of the Times.
Definitely not.
The Batman soundtrack.
Sorry.
Shaun of the Dead hit the silver screens in 2004 with a daring pitch, a rom-com-zom, as it's come to be known. The idea of intertwining a romantic comedy with a zombie apocalypse was not just intriguing, but an absolute novelty. This ingenious concept, under the masterful direction of Edgar Wright, managed to enthrall audiences around the world. This milestone anniversary offers the perfect opportunity to discuss 5 things you didn't know about Shaun of the Dead that you may never have, or probably, heard of. From Dusk till Shaun, Simon Pegg revealed in an interview with Entertainment Weekly that he jokingly wrote a treatment for From Dusk till Shaun, which was a sequel to Shaun of the Dead, and the idea was entertained for a few days, where the sequel would take place in an alternate universe. Yes, MCU has spoiled us with alternate universes, and this sequel would start just like Shaun of the Dead did. Only instead of there being a zombie outbreak, Shaun and Ed would end up traveling to Edinburgh to fight vampires.
People often say you're going to do Shaun of the Dead 2, but I don't see the point, you know. It got to the end of it and that story finished, and, you know, I wouldn't want Nick to have to do an entire film just going, you know, it might be...
We might enjoy it.
Be much good use of his comedy talents, you know. We'd have to break certain zombie laws, and I'm not one to do that.
While the film was never officially made, the sequel does exist in another universe. In Sony's 2018 Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, you can see a poster for From Dusk till Shaun in Times Square. Cornetto Trilogy. Many fans of Shaun of the Dead will likely know this, but did you know that the name of the trilogy came from a sly attempt to get free ice cream? Shaun of the Dead is the first film in the 3 flavors of Cornetto Trilogy, which also features Hot Fuzz and The World's End. What started out as a joke, Edgar Wright had written in Cornetto ice cream as a hangover cure for Nick Frost's character in Shaun of the Dead, based on his own experiences. And during a promotional tour for Hot Fuzz, Wright was asked about the use of Cornetto in the first 2 films.
So then, at the Shaun of the Dead premiere, Walls, who make Cornetto, had free Cornettos for all of the audience. And me and Simon thought that was the best fucking thing ever. So we thought, why don't we write Cornettos into Hot Fuzz? And then maybe at the Hot Fuzz premiere, we'll get more ice cream. But get this, Hot Fuzz premiere, no Cornettos.
Official is prepared to comment. Religious groups are calling it Judgment Day. There's panic on the streets of London as an increasing number of reports of serious attacks on
people who are literally being
eaten alive.
A witness reports are sketchy. One unifying detail seems to be that the attackers in many instances appear to be...
Dead excited to have with us here a sensational topic.
Inspired by actual events? In 2001, there was an outbreak of foot and mouth disease in the United Kingdom, causing a crisis in British agriculture and tourism. This outbreak saw 2,000 cases of the disease spread through the farms across most of the British countryside. Over 6 million cows and sheep were killed in order to prevent any further spread of the disease. As one would imagine, the crisis was the lead story in the news for weeks in the UK, but yet somehow Edgar Wright managed to become disconnected from the outside world and missed the majority of the reporting. Until one day, when he plopped down on the couch, turned on the news, and was baffled by what he saw. The sudden shock of the events that unfolded in the country led him to consider the possibility of what would happen if two characters in a story didn't know that the world was ending. Shaun and Ed return. 16 years after the release of Shaun of the Dead, Simon Pegg and Nick Frost reunited as Shaun and Ed to reenact their zombie apocalypse plan, only as a PSA for the pandemic.
Hey, so what's the plan?
Right. Call Mum, make sure she's okay. If Philip has been infected, follow the NHS guidelines to the letter.
Don't you want to kill him?
Well, of course I want to kill him. I just can't right now.
Oh.
Don't go to Liz's.
What if I'm horny?
Well, she's my girlfriend.
Alright, Grey.
What do you mean, all right? Yeah, I see what you're doing. I know it's 2020, but the original joke wasn't intended as homophobic. It was more a comment on the absurdity of straight male appropriation of homophobic signifiers in order to denote their aversion to emotional candidness. Do not go to the Winchester. The pub is out.
Even if it's shut?
Especially if it's closed. Remember what happened the last time?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you can, stay at home, have a cup of tea, and wait for all this to blow over. Above all, don't be a twat about things. We're all in this together. Don't be selfish. Look after each other. Give someone a call if you think they might be lonely. Okay? How are you doing?
I'm running out of toilet paper. Have you got any?
Yes. I'm sorry, mate. I'm down to my last sheet. I know. You take care. Okay, buddy. Bye. Bye-bye.
It's a remake. The film was inspired by an episode of Simon Pegg and Edgar Wright's British sitcom Spaced, which was created, written, starring Simon Pegg and Jessica Stevenson, and directed by Edgar Wright. Spaced featured the misadventures of slacker Daisy Steiner and Tim Bisley, two 20-something Londoners who move in together shortly after a chance meeting in a cafe while both are flat hunting. After they find a flat, we follow their story as they try to figure out new and unproductive ways of killing time. Sounds ideal to me. In an episode titled Art, Pegg's character Tim is killing time by playing the video game Resident Evil 2, one of my personal favorites. After taking speed, Tim attends an art show with his friend Brian where he begins to hallucinate that he's in a zombie invasion, causing him to punch out Brian's ex-girlfriend and then run off.
You could tag along. You make your mind up and maybe I'll see you later.
Now come on, there's no need for us to be here any longer than necessary. Let's split up, look for survivors and get out of here.
This gave Wright and Pegg the idea to write the treatment for the film. A few of the actors from Space also appear in the film. Stevenson has a small role as Yvonne. Peter Serafinowicz, who plays Dwayne in the show, is Pete in the movie. And Nick Frost plays Shaun's best friend.
Yeah, boy!
It is vital that you stay in your homes, make no attempt to reach loved ones, and avoid all physical contact with the assailants.
You believe everything you hear on TV?
These instructions.
Now, I have yet to see Spaced, but reading that description makes me want to watch it. I think I'm going to have to put that on the list to watch. So what are some of the things about Shaun of the Dead that you know that I didn't include on this list? Drop it in the comments. Do you like Shaun of the Dead? Is it funny? Is it one of the best horror comedies of all time? Or am I just blowing smoke? Let me know by dropping that in the comments as well. Also, don't forget, while you're here, drop a like. Drop a comment down below. And if you're not subscribed, please do that. As always, I appreciate you tuning in each week to listen to these Pop 5s. Hopefully by now I have some other content going up for you, because I've been filming a lot of Pop 5s in advance. Anyway, until the next, see you.